Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure and honor to welcome you in Azerbaijan on the occasion of the 14th plenary session of the Asian Parliamentary Assembly. Today, the Milli Majlis of the Republic of Azerbaijan takes over the presidency of the Asian Parliamentary Assembly for the next 2 years. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all member parliaments of the Assembly for their support of the candidacy of our parliament. This is a matter of great pride for us. It is particularly gratifying to take over the presidency from the Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of the brotherly Turkey, His Excellency Mr. Numan Kurtulmuş. On behalf of all of us, I would like to thank Mr. Kurtulmuş and the Grand National Assembly of Turkey for the commitment demonstrated during the presidency. The immense work undertaken in the last 6 years has been very important for the development of our Assembly and inter-parliamentary cooperation. I also want to express my gratitude to Mr. Mohammed Reza Majidi, the Secretary General of the Asian Parliamentary Assembly, for his continuous efforts and effective management of the Secretariat. Honorable colleagues, today's urgent challenge, such as humanitarian crises, conflicts, poverty, climate change, along with the rise of the discrimination, racism, xenophobia, and Islamophobia, do also negatively affect the Asian region. It must be acknowledged that all these challenges can be addressed not individually, but only collectively through joint efforts. This is also true with regards to peace, security, stability, and sustainable development in our region. Taking into account its natural human resources, gained achievements in various fields, I believe our region is well equipped to tackle these challenges. Diversities of the Asian region in geography, demography, culture, and religion do not divide our countries and peoples. Instead, these diversities enrich them and bring even closer. Dear colleagues, Asia has plenty to offer in terms of cooperation, dialogue, and solidarity. In this sense, the Asian Parliamentary Assembly represents an important multilateral platform for these purposes. Today, the activities of APA cover significant areas such as political, economic, social, cultural, and others. Thus, by bringing our parliaments together, it further mobilizes the efforts of our continuous for common goals. At the same time, it provides parliamentary contribution to achievement of these goals. Dear colleagues, at the Parliament of Azerbaijan, we regard the APA as a significant framework. It reflects our joint willingness to deepen our interparliamentary dialogue. I believe development of institutional capacity of the organization will further strengthen our cooperation. The work of the Assembly can be further consolidated by increasing the effectiveness of the existing bodies regulated by the APA Charter. Establishment of the new mechanisms will also greatly enrich our work. The Standing Committee on Social and Cultural Affairs, in its meeting held in Baku in September last year, adopted the resolution on establishment of a Commission on Women. This commission will solidify our work on the issues of women empowerment, gender equality. It will also acknowledge the contributions that women make to realization of our goals. Development of cooperation between the APA and other interparliamentary organizations will facilitate an effective participation of the Assembly in global parliamentary diplomacy. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the Milli Majlis also chairs the parliamentary network of the non-aligned movement. Last year in Antalya, upon our initiative, the network applied for and was granted the status of observer in the APA. The network will hold its third conference in the framework of the 148th General Assembly of IPU in March in Geneva. Granting of observer status to APA in the network and signing of memorandum of cooperation will enable both entities to actively participate in parliamentary diplomacy. Distinguished colleagues, Azerbaijan attaches great importance to the development of cooperation with Asian countries on a bilateral and multilateral basis. There are important areas where our countries can further increase their collaboration for the benefit of our region and enable to reach common development goals. One of them is transport connectivity. As a result of huge investments in its transportation infrastructure, Azerbaijan has turned into one of the transport logistic hubs in Eurasia. East-west and north-south transport corridors pass through Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan's infrastructure is accessible to all Asian countries. Increased cooperation in this sphere will definitely advance the ties in economy and trade between our countries. Then there is the issue of climate change, which demands all of us to act more decisively. Implementation of projects and programs on alternative energy resources will contribute to our efforts to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and protect the environment. The clean environment and green growth are one of the main priority areas of Azerbaijan's Sustainable Development Goals. Azerbaijan has also joined the global pledge to triple renewable capacity and double energy efficiency worldwide by 2030. Azerbaijan has been chosen as the host of COP29 with unanimous support of international community. This is the acknowledgement of Azerbaijan's commitment to supporting international efforts in the field of climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, Azerbaijan firmly defends international law and justice at the global arena. With regard to the Palestinian cause, Azerbaijan's stance is principled and consistent. Azerbaijan firmly supports a two-state solution for this issue, in line with international law and relevant United Nations resolutions. Distinguished colleagues, we remain deeply concerned with the rapidly deteriorating humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip. Civilian death toll, including among women and children, is especially disturbing. Azerbaijan joins others in calling for an urgent de-escalation and immediate cessation of hostilities. It is evident that humanitarian aid to civilians should be delivered without any delay. Any actions that could further aggravate the situation should be avoided. All efforts should be mobilized to prevent further calamity. Honorable colleagues, taking this opportunity, I would like to inform you on the current situation in the South Caucasus that also affects peace and stability in the wider region. Just recently, in early February, the extraordinary presidential elections were held in our country, which resulted in overwhelming victory of Ilham Aliyev. The main significance of this election was that, and it was the first time, I'd like to underline it, they were held in all sovereign territories of Azerbaijan. As a result of 44-day patriotic war in 2020, Azerbaijan liberated its territories from the 30-year-long Armenian occupation and restored its territorial integrity. Counter-terror measures conducted in September last year eradicated separatism in our lands, and Azerbaijan restored its sovereignty over all its territories. Today, Azerbaijan conducts the large-scale restoration and reconstruction works in the liberated territories through huge investments. Former IDPs have already started to return back to their homes. By the end of 2026, their numbers will reach 140,000. Ladies and gentlemen, Azerbaijan also makes enormous efforts to ensure long-term peace and stability in the region. Azerbaijan's proposal to Armenia on normalization of relations and signing of peace agreements is based on main principles of international law. After more than 3 years of Armenian political and military provocations, signing of the peace agreement is still possible. Several days ago, a bilateral meeting took place between the President of Azerbaijan and the Prime Minister of Armenia in the framework of the Munich Security Conference. Agreements reached on negotiations for a peace treaty and meetings on border delimitation can be evaluated as a positive step. Hopefully, Armenia will refrain from provocations, involvement of biased third parties, and will abandon its ongoing claims against the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan, which is reflected in its constitution and other legislative acts, and continue direct bilateral negotiations on peace agreement. And the only way for the long-term peace and stability in the region is to establish relations with neighbors on the basis of norms and principles of international law. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I would like to once again thank you for support and trust put in our presidency. I firmly believe that with our common efforts, the Asian Parliamentary Assembly will continue to serve as a platform for development of our cooperation and realization of our common goals. Thank you.